Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're doing another approximately 100 vintage green penguin crime paperbacks. These are the ones that are numbered between 700 and 800 and a bit. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. So yeah, I pulled this 100 vintage penguin crime books out. These are numbered between 700 and 800, and I'll tell you what, there's an awful lot of them. There's as much as there was in the last sort of part of these. So evidently in the 700s, Penguin published an awful lot of crime, which we don't mind at all. I'm sure there'll be some classics in here. Looking ahead at the racks, there are a couple of lower grade books that we're not going to bother repairing. They're just going to go in my sort of reject bulk pile. But I think there's going to be enough for us to do in a video. And if the 700, when we've repaired those, if it isn't an hour, I shall just carry on and we'll go into the 800s because I've got them all sorted. We got books right up to number 3000, so quite a bit to get through. And as I said, potentially I've got another collection at the end of this month, so I need to be making some room as best I can for potentially more books coming my way. Don't really know where they're going to go, but you know how it is. I don't like to turn books down, let's put it that way, you know. This is actually a real classic, this one. It's not in the greatest of condition, but this is one of those ones that is quite sought after. It's a 10 to 12 pound sort of book in tip-top shape. In that sort of condition, I think I'll probably price it at about 6 or 7. 702 then, Murder on Leave. And I've been absolutely loving going through my main collection and doing a bit of comparison work and finding out which ones were the better condition copies to keep and swapping a few out. I've been selling some of the rarer ones on to fellow collectors who I know, and they're obviously very grateful to get those, which is good as well. It's nice to be able to fill a hole for a collector if they've been after a book for many years. It's one of the nice parts about being a book dealer is when you can find a rare book for somebody. And I don't, from what I've been told, I don't overcharge. There are some dealers online, you know, you just wonder what planet they're on because they don't really know the subject. They just chance in their arm. But the thing is, sometimes it pays off, you see, so it ends up with all the books sort of going out for much more than they're actually worth, and it can put people off. I like to offer real value for money when I sell my doubles on, and I think anyone who's bought off me would probably agree with that I'm good for a bit of a bargain. I'll always do a bit of discount with a job lot as well. Right, Death and the Dancing Footman. So this is a little bit on the worn side, so I'm just having a look to think, is it going to be worth saving at all? And I would say it's probably not. I will just put a dot of glue on there, but that one to me is one of those ones, it's a bit too far gone. It's really well read. Evidently it's a good book, but it's got a tear on the front there and a bit there missing there and a bit off the cover missing. So basically this book has seen better days, and I'm going to put that to one side. That's going to be in the job lot. The very next book, however, is, on the face of it, a very nice copy. Once again, it's had a sticker removal mark, so I wonder if this is one that came from Murder One in London, and the original owner took the price sticker off this one. But apart from that, this is a beautiful copy. Well, this is 1949. When you think of the age of it, that is absolutely lovely, isn't it? So nothing to do on that one. I think that'll be an upgrader for myself, that. Death at the Bar, the J.M. Marsh. This is when they published a few of hers in a little run. There we are. So no pencil marks there, but it has got a bit of the bottom of the spine come away there. So we shall press that down. like so, just to stop it getting anywhere. It's got a couple of little flecks on it, but generally a reasonably presentable copy, that one. Right, Richard Hull, Excellent Intentions. Got $10 on the back. Kill City Books. As I said, the original owner of this collection, I believe him and his partner went to Australia quite a bit. And I suspect this is one that's come from Lucky Country. And that's not going to... It's a really, really stubborn label. I think I'm just going to leave it on. It's not going to be a high value book, this one. So it doesn't need massive attention. It's a little bit on the worn side, so I'm only going to be selling this one reasonably cheap, that one's. But it is okay. I'm not going to pop it in the job lot. This one, however, is much better shape. Indeed, nice and bright, this one. Yeah, this is quite nice indeed. That's absolutely lovely, in fact. I think it might have a little bit of pencil on the front. Possibly. Just a little bit. Yeah, very, very faint, but I think that's a nice copy of that one. That's a possible upgrade. This next one, very, very rough. It's bits missing from the top and bottom of the spine. It is quite the worn old dog, unfortunately. There's the bottom of the spine there. Yeah, it's basically fallen to bits. So once again, that one is going to be in the rejects pile. I feel obliged just to put the 718 back on, even though, you know, this book has obviously seen much better days, you know. There we are. Just makes it slightly more complete. In fact, I will just glue this bit down as well, just because there's a risk of that getting much worse if we don't. So just to fold that in a little bit. Yeah, it's just going to be knocked out dirt cheap. Nothing to worry about there. It's not a collectible copy by any means. So we'll leave it at that. This book is the same. It's all been taped up. It's got the sticker on the front. It's very brittle. You can see it's had its day, so that won't be going in anybody's collection. This one, however, look, on the face of it, quite a nice little copy again. So they really are quite random, aren't they? I mean, it's not mint, but this isn't bad at all. Yeah, that's quite presentable. I don't mind that at all. Another one by Cheney. They did a little batch here. Now this one's a little bit rough. It's sort of borderline, really. It'll be a bit of a cheapie. There we are, popping that bottom of the spine back in. It's not great, this one, and I did think twice about popping this one into the rejects pile, but I think it's just about salvageable. Not great. In fact, it's not. It's just not good enough. It's not up to snuff, and we just won't do it. But it's not unusual with some of these crime titles. They get red and red and red. And if there's too many things wrong with them, no collector's going to really want them. This one, however, you know, it's intact. It's okay. Got a little 45 cents inside. So once again, it may well have come from Australia. I mean, it's grubby. It's not the greatest of copies, but it's absolutely fine, I think, that one. Although, looking at it, it's missing the first page. I'm not selling incomplete books. we're not doing that. So reject pile it goes. Right, the Urgent Hangman. Good job we checked, wouldn't it? We don't want to be selling books with a page missing if we can help it. Obviously, when you're going through so many books, little errors like a missing page at the start can creep in if you're not careful, which is why I don't tend to do loads of cleaning videos back to back. I might do just one and possibly two a day, but I don't do any more than that, simply because that could cause issues. There we are. Little mistakes could creep in, but that one's all right. I'm pleased with that. Right, the Velvet Well. Now this has got some tape down the bottom there. So that's our first thing. Can we get this bit of old tape off? Yeah, it's sliding off all right. There we are, that sort of fell off. As expected, it's left a bit of a mark. Quite brittle, this one, and sunned. Yeah, come from Australia again. 40 cents. But apart from that, it's okay. So that's all right. The Big Clock. This one's a little bit tatty, a bit spotted. Someone's dropped their tea over it by the look of it. It's got a little £2 inside, which we shall erase from history. There we are, a few like little marks on it. Nothing too serious, that's absolutely fine. So we don't mind that. Right, Raymond Postgate, verdict of 12. It's got that Kill City Books on the back, $7.50. Let's flick through first, see if there's anything internal to be done. No. So then we'll do this bottom of the spine here. And this is 2-ply, so we're going to need to get another bit of glue in on there. It's lovely. Tiny bit in the top here. Okay. Right. So the only other thing to worry about is this label on the back. Now the last one was quite a stubborn little beast. And I think that's going to be the same thing. So I'm just going to leave that. I'm not going to spend hours and hours trying to take off those Kill City book labels. Right. This is very, very worn. This is just going to be in the reject pile. It's a bit of a dog, as you can see. So we're not going to spend any time repairing that because it's just too far gone. Right, Coroner's Pigeon, 736. It's also a little bit grubby. Yeah, I don't think the original owner, once he got a book, he didn't bother upgrading it, which most collectors I know definitely do. They're constantly upgrading right until they stop collecting. They're always upgrading. So that's very, very borderline, but it's just about enough. Not mega money. Right, this one, on the face of it, seems quite nice, except the spine up there. So let's get rid of this little twist on the front cover. There we are. Right, hopefully this bit will just glue back in quite nicely. with a bit of luck. Yeah, I think it's going to stay down there. So a little bit of repair work needed on that one, but generally speaking, that's a nice copy of that one, and I think we've done a decent enough job to save it getting any worse. It's a shame about that little split at the top there, but yeah, it is what it is. We can't do anything else about that. Just a tiny bit there in the corner. Hoping that's going to stay down. Yeah, there we are. So not too bad a copy, that one. Not too bad. The case with 9 solutions. J.J. Cointon. This has got spine roll on it. But apart from that, he's all right. Actually, this appears to be a... Yeah, that page has come out. Look at that. Can you believe that? It's just somehow come detached, that page. That's it back in position. But yeah, so once again, sadly it's got that spine roll on it, which isn't great, but I think it's going to be worth saving, that one. I'm not going to reject that one just because it's got a loose page. Okay, A Battle of Nerves. This is a great one from Simonon. It's got that Murder 1 sticker on, which is a blimmin' pain. And, well, we've seen that they don't come off very well, do they? They tend to rip, which is a real pain. And a bit of a spoiler on the collection. Obviously they're not on all of them, but they are on some of them. And this is a really, pretty tidy copy of an in-demand book. These Simonons are very, very much in demand. Every single Penguin Cinnamon that got published is in this collection, every single one. And this is one of the very earliest ones. Yeah, it's good, this one. The Simonon books generally, the Maigres rather, are quite short. And this is an example, a rare example, but it's an example of Penguin putting 2 books into one in a miniature omnibus. Later on, they would, in the late 60s into the 70s and early 80s, they re-released the Simonons with 3 books in one, a whole series of about 15 omnibus editions. So I think I'm just going to leave that sticker on there, and it's just going to have to be, for me, it's permanent passenger. Now look at that. That is beautiful, isn't it? Carteret's Cure. That is, on the face of it, an absolute beauty. So this will be one I'll be having a very close look at when I get to my my collection. It's got Brian Kesterton on, so it's come from a Penguin dealer, which is probably why it's in such great condition. There we are. That is a very, very nice, tidy, presentable copy of that one. If that one is better than my own one, obviously I'm going to swap it. But I can't imagine my own one is in that beautiful condition. And that's actually another very, very nice one. So this is another key book, Raymond Chandler, and this is outstanding. That's actually a really, really nice copy of that one. I think that's possibly the best copy of that I've ever seen. It's definitely an improver on mine, and I've got a pretty nice one already. Once again, this is a £10 to £12 book, Trouble Is My Business. It's one of those ones which I believe is the first thus. So Penguin were the first to pull. I think this has got 3 stories in, and this is the first time that was done in any format. And that, I think you will agree, is an absolute beauty, that little fella. That's very, very nice indeed. That's a real premium book, that one. Then the next one, look at the spine roll on it. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Sticker on the back. I think this is probably seen better days, shall we say? Yeah. I mean, that is almost like it's been run over by a car, isn't it? That particular one. And because of that, it's just going to have to go in the reject pile. It's bringing down the decor here, you know. This one's lovely though. Don't monkey with murder. I wouldn't dream of it. But I know the collection I've got, hopefully, another one from Brian Kesterton, hopefully the collection I've got coming to me at the end of the month is, it's going to be a bit of a mixture like this, but it's also going to have some reprints in, apparently. And if I buy it, I will buy the whole lot, even if it's a couple of carloads. So it's going to create an awful lot of cleaning, but I don't mind. That is lovely. And there'll be some real surprises in there, I would imagine. Some real surprises. Well, we're getting through these quicker than I thought. That's the first pile of 2. Obviously, the really, really rough ones we're not bothering with. Now, what about this one? So this, on the face of it, looks great, except it's got this tape on. So why have they put tape on it? And more importantly, will the tape come off? So we'll tease it off first of all, just up to the edge of the spine there. There we are. And then so what I'd like to know is, why was this bit of tape put on? Was there some sort of tear that we can't see? It's difficult, isn't it? Maybe they were worried about it splitting down the bottom of the spine there. But it's obviously left a bit of a tapey residue. But apart from that, it's quite a nice, robust book. It probably was only read the once, you know? So it's a bit of a weird thing to do, why they put that big wedge of tape right the way along the spine there. But apart from that, it's okay. So I'm definitely going to be keeping that one. It's not that bad, you know? A great title in it, Remove the Bodies, 745. If you like Penguin crime, there is a podcast which focuses on the golden age of crime, which is like between the war years, the First and Second World War, and it's called She Done It. And it's a podcast hosted by a girl called Caroline Crampton, a lady, and it's very good. And they have a sub-series within the She Done It podcast called the Green Penguin Book Club, and they go through every Green Penguin book in order, starting with Unpleasantness at the Bologna Club, Penguin number 5, the first green one, in order, and they review it, and it's fantastic. And they do like one a month or so. Really, really recommended. I think they've done the first 10 so far, I believe. Bit of pencil on the front cover on this one. Okay. Yes, masses of spine roll. We are on to 1950 now, so a mere 75 years old, these books now. Yes, it's just this bit at the bottom of the spine here. Let's have a little investigation. It is pretty awful. Well, we can stop it getting any worse. We can certainly do this bit here. Except our glue is dried up. try that again. It's just that first side bit. Hopefully that's going to keep that in place. And then this bit over this side, which is looking decidedly sorry for itself. Whether it's going to make much difference, I don't know, but hopefully it'll stop it getting any worse. Okay. Yeah, not perfect by any means. Very, very spine rolled, but I think it's just about past muster. Just. It was on the borderline though, I can tell you that. And it's not going to be very expensive when I put it out for sale. I think it'll be like £2 or something like that. Right. Marjorie Allingham, Campion, Mr. Campion to you, Mr. Campion and others. Seems quite a nice one on the face of it. This is why we try and stick to a certain level of quality. Even though the books are old, it doesn't mean they have to be absolute dogs. And the real worst ones, I mean, I'm all for saving books, but the really bad ones, I won't chuck them away, but I will, as you've seen, pop them into that job lot because it's a better place for them. Right. Okay, that's absolutely fine. That's a really nice one. Now, the only thing possibly is just starting to come away there where it's been read a few times. So we'll try and insert some glue in there and push down. And hopefully that'll stop that getting any worse. Yeah, it's not really done a very good job, to be honest. It hasn't kept it down. Sometimes the books are so set in their ways, it just doesn't work. But I mean, it's still a nice-ish copy, that one. I mean, it really is. I'm not going to complain at that at all. Right then, so 764, Death Comes to Perigold. This is another very, very worn one. It's too far gone, I'm afraid. It's no good to me. This one might be savable, or salvageable, I should say. We'll get that pencil off the front first of all. Cool. It looks like it's got wet at some point, or at least splashed with something. So it's only going to be a cheapie. But for some people, that's fine. They just like to fill the number. Yep. Somewhat beaten up, you could say, but it is a copy, and it won't be too dear. Sweet Danger. There we go. That's all right. That seems pretty nice, doesn't it? Look at that, the Crime at Black Dudley. That's how you want them all to be. Pretty much mint and unread. If only that were the case. But that's his. That's a beauty. So that's like a premium copy of that one. Beautiful, beautiful copy. The Fashion in Shrouds. There are Allingham. Got £2.50 inside. Yeah, that's okay. Bit of a creased spine, but he's all right. Traitor's Purse. Yes, this one's a little grubby, but I think he's going to be worth saving. Talk about it like it's a life, isn't it? Let's save its life. So 2-plier again. So we're going to get the first bit down, then we've got another little bit to glue on top. There we are. Yes, so not perfect, but it just scrapes through. Just. But it'll be a bit of a cheaper one. This one looks alright. Look to the Lady. Yeah, that's pretty nice. £3 lit. These have all come from the same place, haven't they? By the looks of it. Yeah, that's nice. Now this next one is actually really quite interesting because it's a later one. It's a double and it's in a dust wrapper, and I definitely haven't got this. In fact, I don't think I've even seen it in a dust wrapper before. So that's really, really nice, that one. That's very unusual. And underneath, of course, the dust wrapper has kept it in remarkably lovely condition. Very, very nice indeed, that. That is, when you think it's 75 years old, that has done very well. He had £4.50 paid for that one, and it's probably because it is that unusual. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen one of those in a dust wrapper before. So that's a very scarce book, I believe, and certainly one I haven't got in a dust wrapper myself. I'm certain of it. I'm pretty sure I've got a nice copy of the book, but not like that. So that's awesome. That will be joining my collection, I can tell you that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very keen to get these cleaned, as well as having that impending collection at the end of the month. We have also got these books that, you know, they're going to be upgrades to my own copies, so I'm very keen to go through. Right, this one looks pretty beaten up, doesn't it? Look at the state of it. Yeah, it's just too grubby to keep in the collection, and I suspect the same will be the case of this. The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. I mean, these are not mega rare books, so I'm absolutely fine to let these go into the job lot because it will help sell them. We could have some good stuff in there as well. And we'll just re-glue that little bit. If someone's thinking of just wanting some Green Penguin crime just for reading, then they're going to do very well with that. I am going to do a similar thing with just the regular fiction as well. I'm just going to put some job lots up just to clear it out because I'm not going to have room for low grade stuff, and I just don't want it anyway. I don't want to be carting it around. I want to be carting around my good stuff, you know. It's as simple as that. There we are. Don't know why I'm bothering so much in this, since it's just going to go in the cheap pile, but it'll make it a little bit more presentable, I suppose. Right, Famous Trials, Volume 3. Yeah, that's not too bad at all, that one. Dead Lion. Bit of a faded spine. But apart from that, he's okay. Yeah, there we are. The Mystery of a Butcher's Shop, Gladys Mitchell. This one looks as if the bottom of the spine has already been repaired historically, so I don't need to do it. And I won't undo what's been done. Yes, that'll just have to stay as is. Right, Mystery Villa. It's a pretty nice straight copy. Yeah, that's really nice. The Ghost It Was. Right, this is looking a bit rough, isn't it? Okay, can it be saved? Well, we'll try and save it. Let's see if we can do it. A full spine reglue is required here. First one we've actually had to do today, isn't it? So we're not going to be too cut up about it. I think it will be salvageable though, this one. Just. Bit of glue come out of the bottom there. There we are. Yeah, got some glue on the cardboard here on my working surface. But I think we've done a good job there. We've just, and I mean just about, saved that from going in the dodgy pile. I mean, very, very low grade indeed. I don't really want to flash it around, but that will do. That is actually okay, just by the skin of its teeth. This one, however, 795. Once again, on the face of it, quite grubby. Can it redeem itself? Obviously, we've got to give these a good brush as well at some point. I think we can just about save this one. Now, this is the last one in the 700s, and the video is at not even 3/4 of an hour yet. So I think what I'm going to do, because I've run out of time today, I'm going to stop the video in a minute, and I think we're going to do at least up until numbers 850. Potentially 8 to 900 if there's not that many, but we'll definitely do the next 50 in the main Penguin series Crime, and I'll do those in the morning with a bit of luck. Yeah. So that once again has just redeemed itself, but it was hairline, I tell you. Right, there we are. So that's it until tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next morning, and I've decided to dig out Penguins 800 to 850, just to give this video, make it over an hour or so long, which is absolutely fine. And then next video, oh, look at this. Next video, I'll probably do like 850 to 1000 in the Crime. But this one evidently has seen a bit of action. But hopefully he's, on the face of it, it's not too bad. We're just going to need to re-glue that spine there. There's a big 6 there for some reason. Don't know what that one's doing there. Yeah, it's not quite completely detached, but I think we can get the glue in there and save that one from any further deterioration with a bit of luck. Now, obviously I haven't used the glue since yesterday, but we did clean the nozzle, so I'm hoping, there we are, yeah, it comes out okay. This is the second bottle of this particular glue that I've got through now, and at the first bottle it absolutely seized up on me, and I had to cut the nib off the end just to squeeze the glue out. This one has been a lot better, so whether they've changed the design or not, or whether I'm just more in the habit of cleaning the nozzle, I don't know, but it's been okay. Particularly at the bottom here, it's coming away. Nothing can rescue me. Well, we've rescued you. So we're off to a good start. Right, suddenly at his residence. Now, once again, some of these are going to be too low grade. In fact, I'm looking at the very next one ahead of me, and it's another very, very worn one. That's nice. I never noticed that before. Look, got a little illustration in the front. There we are. So it seems the ones which have got lit in from this collection evidently seem to have been bought at the same sort of time, or maybe from the same bookshop, and that generally speaking they've been in better sort of condition than, well, some of the other ones, basically, you know. But I cannot wait to get this next, well, these last couple of videos worth of books up into my collection room, because I want to go through and compare against my own copy. So look at this. This is absolutely falling to bits. I mean, that's almost too bad, even for the duff pile, but I'm going to put it in there anyway. This one may be a similar situation. So It's coming away. Yeah, it's not worth saving. It's just going to go straight into the rejects. The lift and the door. How's this one? Can it be saved? Well, I think the answer is just about. It just needs re-gluing, that one, by the look of it. So let's take this £1.50 out. But as I said, this is not uncommon for this particular period in Penguin, for the glue that was being used at the printers at this time to just dry up and become very brittle, and then the books just fall to bits. It is something that happens, sadly. But it's okay. See, that's actually all right. By the time we re-glue this back down, that's going to give this one a bit more, another lease of life. Not brilliant, but it will keep it from going in the bin. Or possibly in a job lot. So we're making assessments on a book by book basis, but that's fine. I don't think we've got many other really bad ones in this last little batch here. Maybe a couple that might need quite a bit of attention, but we'll see. Yeah, I might need to do a second layer of glue in a minute. Yeah, so another little bit in there for that bit, and another bit there for that bit. There we are. I'm just going to put a dot on there. Let's see if we can use the scalpel just to fold that over. There we are. So this one lives to fight another day. I mean, it's not great, and I'll only, sell it quite cheaply, but at least we've saved it from the bin. Right, the White Priory Murders. Bit of spotting on this one, but apart from that, he's okay. Of course, I've just remembered we've still got to do all the brushing of the books we did yesterday as well. Mr. Reader. Very nice. Right, this one seems quite a nice square copy of this one, which is good. These Carter Dixons, it's a bit like the John Dixon Carrs and the Agatha Christie's. These were amongst some of the most popular authors at this time, certainly in Penguin, and the copies, when they turn up, don't tend to be in tip-top shape because they've just been read so often. So that is very, very good. So I'm hoping that that's a better improver on my own existing copy. But this was a run of 10 Carter Dixons. And I do enjoy it when Penguin released these like little mini-series within the main series. They did it with Christie twice and H.G. Wells. There's loads of them. In fact, it would be quite fun to pull them all together, actually, all the different series that I've got, to do like an overview of them. Because they are quite interesting and they make nice sets to collect. They did it for D.H. Lawrence, H.G. Wells, George Bernard Shaw. They did quite a lot of 5s. Like P.G. Wodehouse never had a 10, but I think he had 2 5s. So they do vary a little bit. But in my experience, there's always 1 or 2 books in my run of 5 or 10 that are not quite up to quality. So you never know. There may be some improvers in this particular collection. Oh dear, that one's been creased, sadly. It's got a 6 on the front here. Is that in pencil? It is, yeah. So we shall get that little 6 off. So this one's not A1, but it's not awful. It's just not the greatest. So it is what it is. It's, a vintage Penguin. Right, this one's got a bit more obvious wear to the covers. Like it's been read a few times. It's a little bit grubby. 250 inside. Yeah, this is a little bit aged, that one. It's a little bit aged, sundown, and a tad brittle. Right, the 10 teacups. Yeah, another one which isn't perfect, but it's being held together. It is not the end of the world, that one. Right, he wouldn't kill patience. He wouldn't dream of it. 818. Another one with this big 6 in. So we've seen this like big 6 in a few of these books. So once again, these have obviously come from a similar collection, possibly, or from a book dealer, but definitely the same source, I think, is we've ascertained with those, Once again, pretty nice condition, fairly clean. The next one is Borderline, so let's have a closer look. So, a very, very tatty spine. It's got a sticker on the front from Murder One. The spine is almost like crumbling in my hand. I can feel it. But it is complete. It's just very, very poor. I think that, and it's got a burn on the back. I think that's going to go in the reject pile, that one. Right, Plague Court Murders. Lovely. This looks a bit better. It's just not worth persevering with some of the really low-grade books. They're just not really collectible copies. And I absolutely knew that before I bought this collection. These ones are all a bonus, really. The actual monetary value of this collection was in the early books, of course. These ones are just cheap and cheerful. Anything post number 500 in Penguin, with a few exceptions. You're not talking a big load of money. Obviously, you're talking some money, but not a lot, Right, so this one looks fine, except we need to reglue it, which I think is going to be pretty straightforward. Now I'm going to put a little layer under there. should be absolutely fine. Still needs a bit right at the very bottom here. I squished that out, but it did need it. There we are. It's actually quite a nice clean copy, that one. It was just the spine needed that little bit of re-gluing. So we'll let that set properly and that'll be absolutely fine, that one. Right, the next one might be a bit rough. It's a Simonon, and I don't like to dispose of the Simonons like the Christie's, but it may be a bit too far gone. Let's have a look. I mean, even if this book was absolutely immaculate, it would only be selling for maybe £5 or £6. The fact that it's in this sort of poor state, I just would rather not have that in my inventory. This one, however, this is much better. This is absolutely fine. This is sort of average vintage Penguin condition, isn't it? You know, it's got a dollar's price. So once again, this has come from Australia. You know, obviously from Britain, but then sold in Australia by the look of it, in a second-hand shop. It's funny, when I went to New Zealand, admittedly this was quite a while back, I was amazed. This is in the 90s. I was absolutely amazed at how few paperbacks I came across. It was almost all UK trade hardbacks being sold in the second-hand bookshops of Australia and New Zealand. That's what I saw myself. Ironically, there are Australian and New Zealand produced Penguin paperbacks that came out in the 1940s, and I've got one odd one in the collection which I've never seen before, which is from the 60s, and I think that's a real anomaly, that one. But it was nice to have a couple of early Australian ones, because I didn't have any in my collection. It's not something I've ever attempted to track down in any way at all, but these were the first ones to come my way. This one a little bit worn, but because it's look at the dust coming off the top, because it's a Simonon and it's not exactly common, I'm gonna pop a little bit of glue in there and save this one from further heartache. Actually quite long for a Simonon, you know, lengthwise of the book. So hopefully that will keep that bottom bit in place. And at the top, there's a bit missing, but we can just put a dab there. Yeah, I think we've saved it just. I mean, it's a real borderline one, but it's just about worth saving. And only really because it is Simonon, but it's not going to be dear. Right, Havoc by Accident. This is another one where the spine is, you can feel the spine is rolled on it, and underneath it's only a few reeds away from falling to bits, sadly. It's got $8 inside, so once again I'm assuming this was picked up in Australia. Yeah, it's got a sticker on the back, which I'm going to leave, and it is what it is. It's not too bad, that. This one is pretty ropey though. Escape in Vain. This is, I think, even worse than Into Latitudes. Yes, not great. I think he's too far gone. It's not worth persevering on that one. And this was another one, a very, very popular book, an excellent book, in fact, Josephine Tay. I prefer the Daughter of Time rather than Franchise Affair. This one is in demand, but it is a pretty poor copy. It's got like a burn on the front. The spine is split rather than coming away. Oh, and the bit of the book's coming out. So, once again, no good. Forrester, this one looks all right there. Yeah, a little bit of reglue in there. So, a fair bit of writing inside here. And a 1 and 6. Okay. Right, now it does need a slight reglue, doesn't it? Just in that trench down there. Now I'm looking ahead. There looks to be two other, I've got 4 to go. Looks to be 2 other slightly dodgy looking ones, but that's sorted that one out. This is the first one because it's got mega spine roll on it. Cut out the back cover. And somehow a weirdly loose page, like a miscut page. It's too far gone. Reunion with Murder, that's okay. Yeah, that's really nice, that's good. The Case of the Judah Queen. Now, this has once again got spine roll on it, but I think he'll be all right. So, obviously I'm doing these because I need the space in the studio before the next collection comes in. So these are going to be quite a way in advance. I'm going to have these stored sort of on my hard drive, ready to be edited and uploaded. But I'll try, if I can, to intermix it. So I do like a penguin video, then something else, then a penguin video, then something else, just to try and break it up so you're not getting the same content or sort of content every single week. As much as I know lots of people love these penguin books, and why wouldn't you? Let's be honest, they are great. But yeah, the only real way around that is to read the book and recrease all the pages, and I don't really want to do that. It's a little bit better than what it was. And the last one is number 850, The House Without a Door. This has got that 6 on the front that we've seen. Pretty, somehow quite grubby, this one. There's a shilling inside. But he's okay. It's just the bottom here, bottom of the spine needs reglue, and it looks like it's a 2-ply affair again. So we'll do this first bit. And then tiny bit of glue required in there. That's probably as good as we're going to get it. So not great, but you know, it's a reasonably presentable copy. I'm only going to be knocking these out very, very cheaply, sort of £2.50, something like that, for a book in that condition, maybe just a couple of quid. So, you know, someone will definitely have that, and hopefully they'll enjoy it. Now, that's all the books cleaned from 700 to 850 in the crime series. Less, of course, the ones that we put to one side, which are just going to be job lotted. So the last stage then of the cleaned books is to give them a brush, which we'll do right now. Right, to finish off these little beauties then, we're going to give them the brush. And some were most definitely worse than others, weren't they? But all will get the same brush down. There we go. Okay, that's the first pile. Got 3 piles to do. So I hope you've been enjoying this penguin cleaning series. As I said, by the time you watch this, I may have bought another huge collection of penguin books, maybe as many as 4,000, which is a little bit more than I can probably handle in the house here. But they will need an initial sort out, and then potentially I might need to pop some of them temporarily into storage. But we'll see. Maybe I don't get them at all, of course. They may not be really up to scratch. I haven't seen any pictures of them, sadly. But I do know they were collected mainly in the 1980s, when these old penguins were much more plentiful. And I'm hopeful that the books are really nice, you know, and I am able to strike a deal with their current owner. But I will be taking them all, if I do have them. So watch this space for that. It goes without saying, if you've not already, if you wouldn't mind hitting the old subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, you can do the old super thanks, which is like a little button down below, and you can do a direct donation to the channel, or you can go and become a member on Patreon, which is really, really good. On my main channel, you can go to patreon.com/Jules Burt, or you can go to the main channel, the Jules Burt YouTube channel, and become a YouTube channel member if you like, and you get to see behind the scenes footage. You get this with Patreon as well, but you get to see behind the scenes once a week and an exclusive video once a week. So if you want that content, you know where to go. Anyway, thank you for watching this time round, and I'll see you again in 7 days with another video. Bye.